What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Team Fish Nichols YouTube channel. Today is the last day of 2023. So today, of course, we're in things with best decks of 2023. Top 5 decks of 2023. And of course, this is easily possible by Limitless. Limitless is the best website for Pokemon. Web tournaments and deck breakdowns and all that kind of fun stuff. Always check out Limitless. Best place to go, so make sure you check them out. And it's really easy to do this. You can go to tournaments, or you go to decks, and you get filtered by different years and everything. So we went to decks by 2023, and this is from January to December. So all that is included in here. So everything's in there, and it includes like last format, all the previous formats to now. And so we're gonna see what is the best deck. We're gonna go over some of the, I guess, like biggest highlights for those decks. To me, it might not be what you think it is, but I think it's like some of the decks. Like, hey, this is the deck's biggest highlight of 2023. So tournament wise. So yeah, I think it's fun to look at this and see what did well. And yeah, so let's start off things in number 5. It's actually Arceus. Arceus was the number 5 best deck at 2023. Now, unfortunately, the money is not just for the past 12 months, but you can see past 12 months. You can see there's Arceus, there's Arctura, Argiratina, Arctura, Argudra. All these Arceus are different, like Arceus variants that don't have anything. Arc-Pika, there's Arc-Umbreon, Arc-Pika, Arc-Umbreon. Look at all these Arc-Giratinas. Oh my goodness, that was at the World Championship. Everyone was hyping up Arc-Giratina for the World Championship. Look at this. We're looking for NAIC. Look at all these Arctura Umbreons, Arctura Umbreon. Oh my goodness, that was so dominating, right? That was really cool. I remember when Arceus Aerodactyl was a thing. Yeah, sure was. All these different things going on. Trying to see if there's any more Arceus decks that stood out. But you kind of see your pattern. Like this one's like crazy. There's Arc-Giratina, Arc Aerodactyl, Arc Duraludon, Umbreon, Arc-Pika, all in top 64. Like Arceus was everywhere, and that's why it is deserving of the number 5 spot. Argudra, right? Let's see if there's anything else. I think that's all the different Arc decks that we saw in 23. Oh, Arceus Vulpix. Yep, that's the thing that happened as well. Look at all these Arcturas. Boom, bam, 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 bam. Hey, there's me. That's me. I played Arceus. That's cool. That's cool. Oh, Arceus Glade. Sure. Teleon Beedrill. Yep. Arceus Tapu Koko. Yep. That was the thing. Knoxville. You can see all the different ones there. So yeah, Arceus did good. Arctura is probably the most played variant. I would probably say that or Giratina, but I think Durb definitely was the take. But the one I'm going to focus on the most is actually EUIC, and that is Alex Shemansky, who won with his Arctura deck. And I talk about how Arctura was the most dominated deck, right? Now, congratulations, Alex. It's I think his first big one ever outside of the Players Cup. I don't think Alex has won a regionals. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure Alex has not won a regional. So it was a really big deal when Alex won, took down EUIC in London, said, hey, bringing it back, took down Tord in the finals, right? That's pretty impressive. So let's look at Alex's list. It's definitely something to look at. But it is an Arctura with a Alolan Vulpix. So a little bit different there. A little cool tech. And we have the Gardevoir as well in the list. Some Lost Cities. But yeah, it's kind of like your basic Arctura that we saw, right? Had Drapion's in there. Wasn't scared of Mew. Had the Vulpixes in there. So really cool. Really good deck. It was a really cool counter. It was like a counter deck. Took down an Icy, which is very, very cool to see. But yeah, that's why Arctura is number 5. But yeah, this is pretty cool to see that, took down the tournament. Beat down Tord in the finals. Playing their Gardevoir deck. I imagine, everything was great. The Lost City is probably great as well, like just pricing raw and stuff like that. I can't remember the match too much. But yeah, Alex getting first place with their Arceus Duraludon Vulpix deck, which you don't see on the side, but it is there. So that's pretty cool. And that was like when Gardevoir, I think, was starting to pop off a lot, right? Pablo Mesa, another great name. Pedro, another great name. Aiden, great. Trevor Reed. So like all these great names, right? So that's pretty cool to see. Congratulations, Alex, and that's why Arc is in the number 5 spot. And I didn't think cover this, but look, made $346,000. Yo, let's go. So that's number 5. So number 4, we actually have Gardevoir. Gardevoir actually came later on in the year, right? Yeah, it came in, April? Yeah, or February did have some Championship League. Now, there's only just two variants of Guardian that kind of ran around, and that was Guardian Mewtwo, Guardian Mewtwo. You can see Guardian Mewtwo, Guardian Mewtwo, sorry. And you gotta see like here and there. I think the biggest one was Pedro Pertusi, doing well with it. Yeah, here you go. Get first at June in Santiago with it. I do remember that. That's probably the best placement of that. But as you see it, as we go on, it literally just become Gardevoir, Gardevoir. Look at this tournament. Boom! Right? Look at this tournament. Boom! All these Guardies. So nothing else really to see but just Gardevoir, 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 Gardevoir. Right? Oh, there's a Gardevoir Mewtwo. Whoa, whoa, one snuck in. Let's go, Gardevoir Mewtwo. So far, this year alone, because it's only been out for this year, it's made $212,000. So you can see why this is the number 4 spot, right? It came out just recently. It's already made 212,000 spots. Had 16 top 8s, 3 wins, and 8 top 8 international placements, right? And that's a big deal because most again, it just came out and it's already made that many placements. You only have 8 placements in top 8 for in ICs, right? That's a really big deal. 3,592 points. And the tournament I want to focus at is NEIC 2023. Now, unfortunately, Gardevoir will not win, right? It will not win. But I think the big thing to look at is when you go through here. Where's NEIC? I think NEIC was the biggest one, right? That's the World Championship. Yeah, look at NEIC. Look at all these players. Yep. And it was even like this was like the best deck. That even Pedro Pertusi didn't play the Mewtwo list, played just regular Gardevoir. That's how strong it was. Somebody that won with it did very well, and I definitely think this was the best deck of NEIC for sure. Right? It got 3rd, it got 4th, it got 9th. Right? So make it 2 appearances in top 8. Now Arceus Umbreon was also in there, but I think Arceus Umbreon and Teleon eventually winning, of course, were the counters to this because it was the best deck. It was the best deck for NEIC. You can say whatever you want. It was the best deck for NEIC. It didn't win. I get that. But if you replay the tournament over and over again, it could be very different. There was a lot of Arceus Duraludon Umbreons to counter that. And, of course, it's on Nursery. Definitely does put a hurt on the Guardy. But still, it was such a dominating deck in NEIC that definitely think this is a tournament to look at. It definitely did win in other tournaments, but I think this is like showcase like, hey, you know, we had it down. This is the best Cardi deck, and yeah, it's crazy to see. Once again, it's just came out. It's in the number 4 spot already, with already $212,000. That's crazy. So that's number 4 is Gardevoir. And number 3, we actually have Mew Genesect. Now, Mew Genesect has been around for a good minute. You can see here. January, so we've had it for a good minute at this point. It kind of fluctuates between Meloetta, non-Meloetta, Meloetta, non-Meloetta, kind of just goes back and forth. I definitely think the DTE version is the more popular version. As you're scrolling through this, you're going to see a lot less Meloettas, but look at this. Columbus is where the non-DTE version really kind of was in the thing, right? And look at this one as well. So you kind of see it kind of picked up, but then once again, we're drifting away from the Meloetta bills, right? And slowly, oh, this one actually had a couple Meloettas right there. But no Meloettas, bunch of no Meloettas. So you can kind of see the no Meloetta build is kind of creeping back up. People are just playing like Judge and Path of the Peak and stuff like that, which is great. And I think the biggest showcase, of course, it's going to be the World Championship. Mew has so many things going against her, right? Once again, took the Torrid finals, and I hate to bring that up, it's a big deal, but it is a big deal. Torrid is the best player in the game right now. I don't care what anybody says. Torrid is the best game in the player right now. And there's so many things going against Mew, right? And that alone is just shocking that Mew it just wins. It just wins. It just proves like, hey, I'm one of the best decks ever. I'm going to take down the World Championship. And it did, right? It did well last year Worlds. It did well this year Worlds. Won, of course. So Mew just coming in and saying like, hey, we're here. We're not going anywhere. And Mew is still like creeping up now. It's still doing well, as you see in San Antonio. 12, 13, 15, 20, 27, 39. Like, look at all these placements. So, like, Mew is here to stay. Even though it has so many different things going against it, I don't think we'll ever see Mew go away. So far, it made $322,000, 7,254 points. It's made top 8 66 times, including 7 wins. International top 8 7 includes 1 win, right? And I don't think No, Gardevoir has not won an ice and internationals. Arceus has won 3 internationals. So yeah, Mew taken 1 international so far, but I think it's still kind of newer than Arceus. No, it's been around since about as long as Arceus. Um, no, it's been after, right? V Star, V Max, so a little bit after. But still, anyways, Mew dominating deck. It's number 3. It's really good. It's not going anywhere, even though there's so many things going against it, right? So that's pretty cool. So that's number 3, which is Mew, right? Which is crazy. So once again, look at the World Championship. Vance, winning with the Mew Meloetta build. Mew Meloetta. So 3 in top 8. It was so good that like even Azul played it, right? After talking, like saying it's not a good deck, it's a good deck. So number 2 is actually going to be a Lost Box. Now Lost Box, there's so many different variations of it, right? So I don't know exactly what Limitless classifies as Lost Box. You can see here, it looks like as long as it plays Comfy, it's counting, right? So all these decks have Comfy and Sableye as you scroll, but even then, there's so many different variants of this. Actually, no, remember at the beginning of the year, we had everyone playing Comfy Rayquaza. Yep, that was the thing. Comfy Rayquaza was everywhere. Comfy Sableye eventually took over because Rayquaza would eventually rotate. And then we had the Lost Box with Charizard. That would come and go kind of thing, right? And then we had the Speed Lost Box, which I don't think it has its own classification on here. I think it's just like Lost Box in general. But now when you scroll up to the top, you start building these new versions of Lost Box, right? Like, look at this one. Yep. And that's all thanks to Tord, I'm pretty sure, who started pioneering that. Like this one, I think is a tour build. Maybe not. I don't know. Like the crazy tour thing. We had this one as well. You can see like this one. Yeah, so the builds of Lost Box keep changing and evolving. And even though it's been around for a minute, right, I don't think it's going anywhere. It's made $279,000. It's got 48 top 8s, including 8 wins. It's made top 8 7 times in ICs, including 1 win. So not doing that well in ICs compared to the other ones, because like what this one is. Oh, this one's 7, so it's the same. Guardy has 8. RCS, of course, number 1. So yeah, but that's the Lost Box. And I think the thing we'll look at is Sydney Regionals. And the reason I say Sydney Regionals is look how dominating like Lost Box is, right? So we have 8 spots in the top 8. We have Lost Box Rayquaza, Lost Box Lazo, Lost Box Lazo, Lost Box Rayquaza. So like 4 of the top 8 were all Lost Box. And even then, we did have a best one, I guess, because Brent eventually did win with it, right? But I think it's so cool to look at, because you look at Lost Box Rayquaza, and you're like, what is happening, right? You have this Rayquaza, Raikou, Sableye, Radiant Greninja, and look at all these different energies. 3 grass, 3 lightning, 2 psychic, 2 fighting, and 2 metal. That was crazy, right? So it's really cool to see the scoop up nets and stuff like that were in here. That was the scoop up time with Lost Box, and everybody can remember the scoop up net times, right? So Lost Box, it's a very cool deck. It definitely is deserving of the number 2. It's still around. It's still doing very well. It keeps evolving to the meta. And I think this is one of the strong things about Lost Box. You can just cram anything in it, and you're good to go, right? So Lost Box, number 2. Number 1, it might be pretty obvious. So you know what number 1 is? Number 1 is going to be Lugia Arceus. It was dominating last year, right? Made $294,000, 7,895 points. It made regionals 60 times in top 8, including 8 wins. 60 times. So let's look at this one. 48, 66, okay, but Lugia's a little bit after Mew, I think maybe. 16, and it's new. It's 77. So Lugia, 60 times, including 8 wins. So let's look at this one. 12 wins. So Arceus is, I think, the only one over it. 7 wins, 8 wins. Oh, okay, so tied there. International, top 8, 13 times, including 1 win. So let's do 7, 8, and 11. So Lugia Arceus had made top 8 out of the most as anybody, including 1 win. And I think this is the most we've seen of anybody's won. So yeah, Lugia Arceus was the number 1 deck last year. It was everywhere. And of course, I really can't show you all the different evolutions of Lugia Arceus. You can kind of scroll and see like all the different ones, like right, like look at this one, 4-way, right? You just look at them like Charlotte, North Carolina, look at all those, and then special event, and then Natal, and then Vancouver, and Bochum. They had so many different placements, right? Which is, look at Knoxville, and then OCIC, and then Orlando, God, look at this one. Liverpool, so many. Lugia Arceus was probably the deck that most people hated because it was so good. Even JW played Lugia Arceus. Mr. Maridon himself was playing it because that's how good it was. It was a best deck overall, and even though like the crazy thing about Lugia Arceus, I'll tell you this much, is it died down. It died down and still was the number one deck, right? So after, I don't know exactly when, but you kind of see like it kind of dwindles down, right? It definitely starts dwindling down. But still, even the little short gap that we had it for like the 2 or 3 months, we had it in the format, it was still like the most popular deck, right? I guess Toronto had a pretty good showcasing of it. But now look, San Antonio 2, Stuttgart 1, Brisbane 2, LAIC like 7, right? So since Toronto, deck has definitely died down, right? And even then, like there's some like look, 1 placement, right? 3 placements, Yokohama, right? 3 in the Asian circuit, right? So interesting, you know, but still, Lugios was the best deck. The format I want to talk about, or the term I want to talk about, is Orlando Regionals. Andrew Hedrick was a boss last year, won 2 regionals with Lugia Arcs up, I think back to back, right? And look at the top 8: Lugia. Last box recall is a Lugia, Mutagenesis tech. 6 out of the top 8 were Lugia Archeops. What the heck? I think the only time we've seen something like this here recently is when Palkia made like, I think like all top 8 or close to the all top 8 and in Australia somewhere, right? But still, Lugia Archeops made up 6 out of 8 spots in a 1,400 player tournament. That's insane. That's crazy. And that's why it's our number 1 deck of 2023, right? Did you think it was? Because I definitely thought it was. Remember how everybody hated playing the mirror and stuff like that? But now we're here, right? We're here. It's over. It's over. Lugia is not really around anymore. Even I won 2 cups of Lugia. That's how strong it was, right? So overall, if you look at the Limitless, you can do past 12 months, like I said, and you can break down everything, right? Lugia Arceops, 18% share. You got Lost Zone Box, Mutagenesis, Diffusion Strike. So this actually breaks it down a little bit. Gardevoir, Arceus Giratina, Charizard. So Charizard's number 7, Giratina's number 6, right? There's a Maridon, Goodra, and in Reggie's. Maybe Reggie's only there for a second too as well. Palkia has barely been played. Vikavolt was only good for a second. Snorlax is just upcoming. Entei kind of only been around for a second, right? Aldera's Control was only around for 1 second. So a lot of these decks are either up and coming or only had the spotlight for just a second. So this is the top 25 decks. Rapid Strike getting 25th actually, even though it won a regionals or won this one it won oh actually no, this is something different. Which one? What is this technically? I guess this one is straight that. What am I looking for? Oh, here we go. Yeah, Teleon. Even though one IC or one in the IC, it is not in the top 5, which is crazy to me. I thought it had more places. What am I doing with my life? Why is it not working? Oh, it was working. I'm just silly. But yeah, you can open complete tournament report, filters, select options, past 12 months, apply. There we go. I don't know. I struggled for a second. I apologize. But yeah, there we go, guys. Top 5 decks of 2023. Did your deck make top 5? Probably, because, yeah. I guess the shocking one was Maridon's number 8, but Maridon's still new, so we'll see, right? Still new. Charizard's still new. Charizard's newer than Maridon. It's already number 7, so expect Charizard to be like number 1 next year or something like that, right? So keep going up and up and up. But guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you learned something new. It's cool to look back at different tournaments and stuff like that. Talk about different players, different like stuff that happened. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed it. I did. And we'll see you next year. Go have fun. Celebrate the 2024. Go hang out with friends and family, all that kind of fun stuff. And yeah, we'll see you next year. Something exciting is happening tomorrow. That's all I got to say. Alrighty. Bye.